What's up? Quick, hit like if you want the Cowboys to be aggressive, because today we're talking about a move that could change the back half of this season. Stefon Gilmore back in Dallas. Right now, the rumor mill says Jerry Jones is eyeing a veteran corner who brings championship experience and the kind of calm leadership this defense desperately needs. And on paper, that makes a lot of sense. Think about where the Cowboys are right now. The front seven has gotten a boost with the Quinnen. Williams' addition and the pass rush can create game-changing moments. But opposing offenses keep testing the secondary, and that's been the consistent problem. When you ask for a veteran presence who can shadow a top receiver, shut down vertical routes, and give the younger corners someone to lean on in the locker room, a name like Gilmore checks a lot of boxes. You already know the narrative. Low risk, high reward. He's a veteran who has played at the highest level. He's been through playoff battles, and he knows how to prepare for top-tier opponents. That's not just about coverage snaps. It's about what he brings to practice, the way he communicates adjustments, and the quiet accountability he provides when younger players need a standard to match. Now, I know some of you are immediately going to say, but age and durability, and that's fair. That's a real concern with any veteran pickup. Still, consider the alternative. Asking players like Darren Bland to shadow WR1s week after week without consistent help. That's how matchups start to compound into blown coverages and tight losses. Add a vet who can step in and at least slow down elite receivers, and suddenly your pass rush can finish plays, instead of trying to bail out coverage mistakes. Also remember, this is a mid-season move. If signed wisely, the contract and roster cost can be modest, while the football impact is immediate. In other words, this is exactly the kind of chess move a team makes when it still believes it can fight for a playoff spot, and we've already seen the front office be aggressive. So before we dive deeper into film, fit, and the real risks, tell me right now, would you bring Gilmore back to start day one, or would you prefer a younger corner you can develop? Vote in the poll and drop your pick in the comments. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button to help us hit 17,000, so we can keep bringing you updates like this. Let's get into the film and fit. What does Stefon Gilmore actually bring to this Cowboys defense, and why would that matter right now? First off, experience and technique. Gilmore isn't a corner who survives on pure speed anymore. He wins with vision, footwork, and the ability to read routes and quarterbacks. That translates into fewer full-field breakdowns, and it's exactly the kind of polish that stabilizes a young unit. Remember from earlier in the video, when targeted in 2023, he held opposing quarterbacks to a 59% completion rate. That's not just a number. It's proof he can still get the job done in coverage. Second, leadership. Gilmore has played against the league's best receivers for years and has been in playoff environments where attention to detail matters. Having a veteran voice on the practice field and in the meeting room lifts up younger corners who sometimes learn through mistakes. Gilmore's presence could speed up that growth curve. Third, positional versatility and schematic fit. Under Matt Eberflus, the defense values disciplined technique, assignment football, and strong communication in the back end. Gilmore can play press man on the outside, handle shadow duties on a top receiver, or rotate into matchup packages without creating schematic mismatches. That flexibility matters when you're designing blitzes and stunts up front. If the staff trusts the corner to keep the play in front of him, the linebackers and linemen can be more aggressive, knowing the secondary won't collapse. Fourth, the immediate, practical impact. Imagine Darren Bland not having to shadow every WR1 and instead matching up when the game calls for it, while Gilmore shoulders the toughest single coverage assignments. That relieves both mental and physical load from younger starters and reduces the number of weekly footballs thrown their way. Fifth, locker room value. Adding Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson already signaled a push for toughness up front and in the middle. Gilmore adds the same for the secondary. Young players learn by example, and a veteran who prepares like a starter every week raises standards across the roster. Now, I don't want you to miss the trade-offs, playing time allocations, how the coaching staff rotates personnel, and whether Gilmore's role is day-one starter or a situational chess piece. But schematically and culturally, he fits. So here's the engagement. Hit like if you want veteran help in the secondary, and tell me in the comments which you prefer. A veteran now or a younger, corner with upside. Type vet if you want Gilmore's leadership and immediate stability, or young if you'd rather invest in long-term upside. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 17,000 subscribers so we can keep breaking down moves like this. Let's be honest about the risks here, because every veteran pickup comes with trade-offs, and you deserve the straight take. First, durability and age. Veterans like Gilmore bring instincts and technique, but they also come with mileage. That means the Cowboys would need to manage his snaps and be realistic about how many full games he can handle in a season. Second, roster mechanics and contract reality. A mid-season signing typically comes with a short-term, low-cost deal. Think veteran minimum or a deal with little guaranteed money. And the team needs a 53-man roster spot. Practically, that means someone else moves, or the Cowboys use an injury designation to create space. Signing him to the practice squad is possible late in the week. But if you want immediate on-field impact, you have to put him on the active roster. Third, chemistry and role clarity. Is he day-one starter material or a high-end rotational chess piece? If the staff plans to start him immediately, that can accelerate results. But it also risks burning a veteran's value if he can't sustain full-time reps. If he's a situational specialist, his impact might be more measured but still meaningful. Now, the projections. Best case. Gilmore steps in, brings lockdown coverage on opposing WR1s, stabilizes the secondary, blunts high-powered passing attacks, and the pass rush finishes drives. Suddenly the Cowboys are pushing for home field contention again. Likely case, he's a trusted rotation piece who lowers the number of big plays allowed, reduces stress on young corners, and helps the defense be more consistent week to week without dramatically changing the win-loss trajectory. Worst case, persistent wear and tear, or a missed step, means limited snaps, minor on-field impact, and the move ends up blocking reps for a younger corner who needed game time to develop. That's why contract structure matters, and why the front office would almost certainly favor a low-risk financial commitment. Also consider special teams and leadership value. Even if his defensive snaps are limited, Gilmore can still contribute in the locker room and on special teams phases, which is part of the value calculus. So what should you care about as a fan? 2 things: the immediacy of need and the roster cost. If you believe the playoff window is still open and the roster spot can be found without gutting depth, a veteran like Gilmore is worth the gamble. If you prefer long-term youth development and roster flexibility, you'll be cautious. Quick engagement. Do the rewards outweigh the risks? Vote yes or no in the poll now, and tag a friend who disagrees to get the debate going in the comments. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, share the video with someone who thinks the Cowboys should trust the youngsters. Let's settle this in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit 17,000 subscribers so we can keep covering moves like this all season. All right, let's pull this together and answer the big question. Does signing Stefon Gilmore move the needle enough to change Dallas's playoff outlook? Short answer: it helps, but it's not a miracle cure. Picture the Cowboys' remaining schedule and the matchups that matter most. Games against elite passing attacks like the Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions amplify how much every coverage play matters. If Gilmore signs and performs near that reliable veteran baseline, disciplined technique, fewer blown coverages, and the ability to neutralize WR1s in key moments. The immediate benefit is twofold. 1. Your pass rush no longer has to play with its back against the wall every snap, because the secondary can be trusted to limit explosive plays. 2. Your young corners, especially Daron Bland, can be used more strategically instead of being asked to shadow the league's best every single week. That structural improvement reduces variance. In close games, a reduced number of big pass plays can be the difference between a loss and a win. Realistically, most likely outcome. Gilmore is a stabilizer rather than a season-flipping superstar. He shrinks a handful of opponents' best matchups and makes the defense more consistent, which could be enough to swing 1 or 2 critical games down the stretch. That's meaningful. One more win can change seeding or get you into a wild card spot. But we also have to be realistic. He won't erase schematic deficiencies overnight, and the offense still needs to stay efficient to capitalize on defensive stops. So here's my verdict for you as a fan. If the front office can add Gilmore on a low-risk short-term deal that doesn't block developing talent unnecessarily, sign him. The potential upside: fewer explosive plays allowed, improved fourth-quarter defense and veteran leadership, outweighs the manageable downsides. If the cost is high or it means benching a young corner who needs reps, hold off and prioritize long-term growth. Final engagement. Do you think this signing gets the Cowboys into the playoffs? Vote yes or no in the poll and explain your pick in the comments. Be persuasive. I'll be replying. And one more ask. If you want more breakdowns like this, share the video, hit like, and subscribe to help us reach 17,000 subscribers so we can keep breaking down every Cowboys move.